Hello boys and girls, this is the story about a gold service station out in the middle of a country area with paddocks of cows and sheep. A young lad named Jack had a holiday job helping his father, Mr. Crankhand, who owned the petrol station, and he helped to put fuel in the tanks of cars, trucks, tractors, sometimes even motorcycles when they pulled into the pumps. His father would ask the driver, "How much petrol or diesel do you want?" And then he would press the dollar value into the instruction panel on the pump, undo the filler cap, and hand the hose to Jack, who would push the nozzle into the tank, pull the trigger to squirt the fuel into the tank. When the fuel had stopped pumping, a bell rang to remind Jack to replace the nozzle back into the pump's body, which turned off the motor and stopped the hose from falling on the concrete. He then screwed the filler cap back on while the customer walked off and paid for the fuel. When this was done, the engine was started and the customer drove off. One day, an old rattling yellow rust bucket of a car screeched to a stop close to the petrol pump. An old bloke leaned out of the window and asked Mr. Crankhandle,
"I say, old chap, can you give me $30 worth of your top quality fuel for me lovely little yellow car to keep it chirping, and also a bit of water for me dog in the back?" "Here, Patrick, can you stop that dog from licking the back of my neck? It's driving me nuts."
So the amount was entered into the pump while Jack took off the filler cap. Mr. Crankhandle then handed the hose to Jack, who placed the nozzle in the tank and pulled the trigger, allowing the petrol to gush into the tank. The old bloke paid up and came over to Jack and asked him a funny question.
Did you put that petrol in the correct way? Because if you have put it in upside down, my engine will start running backwards. Instead of going forwards, I will be going down the road in reverse. A very hard thing to do for an old bloke."
Now Jack thought for a while. Then he said,
"Well, mister, our petrol comes from a gold petrol pump. And you don't see goals flying upside down, do you? So I think it'll be fine in your old yellow banger, and your engine will sing along like a bird. So bye-bye, mister. Bye-bye, Patrick, and that funny-looking dog." "Patrick, can you stop that bloomin' dog from barking in my ear, lad?"
Now the old bloke started his engine and drove off in the old rattly yellow bomb. And so that ends the story about the upside down petrol and the little boy Jack, who helped his father pour the petrol into the petrol tanks. And it's bye-bye from me until the next story.